I'm fried. Oh shit.
You were never meant to remain bound. Reconnect the power. Bring this place back to life.
The dock systems are offline. Without them, we're trapped here. Restore the power, Caretaker, so we can sail again.
See, that's nice. And then Tennessee, is black girls too. That's where I need to go. Hello. What?
What are you doing?
I'm playing some games. I am I'm streaming on my knees. Yeah, like earlier that is. Over here is always better. You give me this NASCAR game. Are you still like weapons to your job? Oh, whoa. You can do some at home work, you know? Oh yeah, okay, that's working. Really? Like a bowl. Yeah. Well, I had to buy myself NASCAR tonight. Mm.
creamy garlic
Yeah.
mushrooms,
Bro, guys.
garlic bread.
You're
You
gonna
get
say
1
who the
ounce
F is
complete,
Roman
free upon
Atwood?
completion, and I am told there is also a t-shirt. Yeah. How many people do that in here really drunk on a Friday night?
Everyone.
Yeah? I'll stop then. So as you can see, they've got a little kind of Man v Food wall thingy. I did not realise they have not 1, not 2, but 3 different food challenges here. One of them is ice cream, one of them is a burger challenge, the other one's the one we're doing today, the steak challenge. And if you win, you get a little, you see that? A little kind of walk of fame. I thought it was a typo when it says Walk of Fame. I thought it was Wall of Fame. It's actually like the Walk of Fame in LA. You get like a little star on there. And only one person's ever done this, right? Yeah?
That's correct. Only one person has completed it.
Back in 2019. It's about time somebody else beat it, I think. Oh, the steaks. He's bringing out the fresh, raw cut of steak. This is it. Oh, goodness me.
Do you reckon you can handle it then?
Smells delicious. Already seasoned.
So, how do you want that cooked?
I realise this might get a negative reaction, but can I get that well done?
Okay.
Or as well done as possible. Yeah, I wouldn't normally, but it'll just make it easier, less sinewy, I think. Yeah, I'll take well done.
No worries, man.
Imagine if the chef comes down and just stacks it down the stairs. Oh, steak, all the sides go everywhere. I'd still eat him. I'd still eat him off the floor. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Goodness me. 75-ounce steak, 3 double sides, 1 hour, free meal, some vouchers, t-shirt, and a spot on that Wall of Fame at Steak. Think I got it?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Thank you. Trust the bearded guy to show up.
3, 2, 1, go!
I like the girl. The girl was very good. I don't suppose you have any sauce.
What sauce would you like?
Barbecue, maybe? Oh, thank you very much. Is that Red's True barbecue sauce? You're right. You're advertising a different restaurant there. I'll dip this in the creamy mushroom sauce, actually.
You got meat sweats? Yeah, and I've only had a double burger. Think he's got it? Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Deal now.
Yeah?
Come on. You can do it.
The combination of the barbecue sauce and the creamy mushroom sauce is actually working quite well so far.
What's the tactic here with the like what's going on?
There are no tactics. What are you talking about? The key with the steak challenge is to always be busy, especially when it's a steak this big. If you're not cutting the meat up as you chew, something's going wrong.
School day.
I have only seen one person attempt it myself, and they only got halfway through. They quit after about 38 minutes.
No!
Yeah, they just couldn't do it anymore.
Cameraman, I've just noticed something. Neither of you are wearing your cowboy hats. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Get old mates though, if you ask me. Can't go wrong with something big and creamy though, can you? Alright, brisket next. This feels soft. Very tender. Yeah, we're getting to the point now where I'm starting to realise just how good this grub is. This place is pretty special, you know. I've eaten at a lot of barbecue places in my time, but I can't think of any this good. The brisket is in top nick, so much so that I think I'm about to deck a half pound of it in like a minute or something. Look at that. Not many people get to see that face, I tell you. The brisket was so tender, I don't think there's even time for a time lapse. I might have to play that back in real time. You get to choose which flavour of wings you want. I think I went with honey barbecue. Yeah. I think they tried to pressure me into the shut your mouth spicy wings, but I wasn't playing ball. Yeah, you don't say. Not like you, is it, you big wimp? No, actually, to be fair, I wouldn't have wanted to spoil the experience. I think regular old barbecue sauce is just fine. Who needs beard oil when you got barbecue sauce? This is delicious. This is so nice. Oh my goodness. Those are some hefty ribs. The size of those things. Oh, this is delicious. I should probably say at this point, for legal reasons, this is not a sponsored video. The food is just really good. I've got nothing bad to say about it, although we haven't hit the collard greens yet. Do you have any, do you have like root beer or yeah, root beer? Could I get root beer? That would be amazing. Thank you. You can't really get root beer in England, so I drink gallons of it when I'm out here. I love that stuff. I don't really mind. Without ice is fine. Yeah, let me see if any of the Brits get involved down in the comments there. I realise you can get root beer in England. It's just much less ubiquitous. That's what I'm getting at. Thank you very much, sir. You want to get your hands greasy?
Good, how about that?
Was that a good action shot? That was a good one. That made me look really manly. Just pure eating meat off the bone. Doesn't get manlier than that. I think that's about as clean as that's gonna get. Wipe my hands. Yeah, look at that, that's a clean bone. What a professional. That is so cool. You let people try the brisket before they buy it. I'd be coming in with like a different disguise every day to try just get free brisket. No, I'm joking. Right, let's do the collard greens. I think it's probably the one part I'm not really looking forward to. Yeah, I mean, to me, collard greens are just spinach. And although Popeye gave that particular foodstuff a great deal of positive spin throughout the 20th century, I'm not a huge fan. Should have just gone with the cornbread. Don't really know why I didn't, because I love cornbread. I'm gonna leave the egg roll to the end. I think this is probably the most fun constituent part. Mac and cheese, maybe? Yeah, why not? The mac and cheese is pretty spot on too, you know. Well, for me anyway, I like it to be kind of gloopy, semi-viscous with a bit of a crust going on. Ooh, I'll get excited. Now stop. Calm down, man. What's wrong with you? Let's have some of the mustard. Can you put mustard on mac and cheese? We'll try it. This is the perfect consistency of mac and cheese for me. It's a little bit crispy on the top, not too sloppy. Yeah, I think I covered that about 30 seconds ago, mate, but thanks for your contribution. It was good, though. That's the take-home. Almost good enough for me to forget how full I am right now. Everyone's so friendly down here. This never happens in England. Nobody's ever this friendly in a restaurant in England, ever. Like, you never see that ever. Yeah? Right, let's do the okra. I don't think I've ever had okra before. It's courgette, man. That's all it is. Courgette. Easy to eat, though. If you were to try and manipulate the rules in your favour on this one to make it a bit easier, 4 lots of fried okra would probably not be a terrible tactical choice. Although, then you would be missing out on the variety, so maybe don't do that.
Do you like the okra?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess, a little bit like courgette, or what we would call courgette. I don't know if you have that in America.
No, I've never heard
No?
of
What is that? Sounds like clothes.
it. Yeah.
It's good though. Anything that's deep fried is good, pretty much.
Yeah.
Does anyone know how long I've been eating for?
Oh, yes. I have a timer. You have 40 minutes left.
I have 40 minutes left.
Yeah.
So I've been eating for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And you're almost done. That's insane. That is crazy.
What next? I'm gonna try this soul roll.
Yeah.
Pretty good, you know. I think I could just sit here all day and order like everything from the menu. Alright, that's enough. You're getting a bit carried away now. I tell you though, these I think the
Hey everyone, I'm the Rev. Excuse the voice, I'm carrying a bit of a cold. But in this video, I'm going to point you in the direction of a custom force feedback profile that will hopefully really improve your Automobilista 2 experience. For Automobilista 2, you can use a custom force feedback profile. These are files that are made and tested by the community with a goal of improving the force feedback feel on the whole. I have used the same force feedback profile from day one with Automobilista 2. I was recommended it early and I was happy to stick with it, as I've never really had any complaints at all regarding the force feedback. All these sims feel different, they all have their own feel, and Automobilista 2 is no different. However, the change I felt when switching to this new file was immediate. From the first few corners, I knew that this force feedback profile was better.
Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be covering Fanatec Feedback Strength 50, Force Feedback Scale Peak, Natural Damper 10, wheel returning to center whenever you leave a racing session and head back to the main menu, so keep it low. Now since I changed over to these settings, the game actually feels pretty decent. Don't get me wrong, it's still not perfect, but now I can actually feel when my tyres are on their limit, and I have a good idea at all times what the car is doing. See everything below this red line? That's not actually game footage. That's all real life components from our mixed reality sim rig. Divide this image into two halves. The hardware is set to anisotropic. We just go to settings, then performance, set the resolution and frame rate to your preference. I run at full screen because running in windowed mode can often reduce FPS. Texture filtering is set to anisotropic.
What?
Anisotropic 4x. VSync is off because I use NVIDIA G-Sync, which is a similar system to reduce screen tearing. MSAA high, Post AA off, Reflections high, Environment map high, Card detail ultra, Max visible card below this red line. So set the resolution and frame rate to your preference. I run at full screen because running in windowed mode can often reduce FPS. Texture filtering is set to anisotropic 4x. VSync is off because I use NVIDIA G-Sync, which is a similar system to reduce screen tearing. It gave you a lot of performance because it allows you to limit how many cars your GPU will render at maximum, and if you limit this like I did to 12 to 14 cars, it can give you a lot more FPS without affecting your experience in game. Track detail we set to high. Pit crew detail you can set to low if you like. I have it set to all as it doesn't really affect my FPS much. Shadow detail high, enhance mirror yes, motion blur off, render frames ahead 2, detail grass is set to medium because you can't really notice high detail grass while you're driving at high speeds. Particle level is set to high, and lastly particle density high. Next head to the visuals menu, set post processing filters to on. Now both sun flare settings are turned off and I'll explain. Particle level is post processing high. Next head to the visuals menu, set post processing filters to on. Now both sun flare settings are turned off and I'll explain why. You see, although these sun flares might look cool at first, they aren't actually a realistic thing that we see with our eyes. Motion blur off level is set to the visuals menu, set post processing filters to on. Now both sun flare settings are turned off and I'll explain why. You see, although these sun flares might look cool at first, they aren't actually a realistic thing that we see with our eyes. These flares are sometimes visible through camera lenses, but that doesn't make sense here because in this case, the simulator is supposed to make us feel like we're sitting in the car and looking at the environment through our own eyes. And if you compare the two images here, you'll see that the footage with sun flares turned off looks more smooth and realistic. Bloom and heat haze are set to on, but if you find these settings are too bright and distracting, just turn them off because they do make it harder to see what's coming ahead when you're driving in sunny conditions. Exposure compensation I don't touch, raindrops is set to yes, and vignette off. Now the crepuscular rays setting is really important because that's what gives us that appealing effect of the sun's rays traveling through the environment, such as the trees that you can see here. In fact, I'd say that this setting alone is probably what makes AMS2 stand out graphically from other simulators, and if you use an ambient lighting system like me, they're really good at picking out these rays as they appear on screen, giving us a really immersive experience. Screen dirt I have set to off as I find it distracting, and cockpit mirrors are turned on. Now the final step to achieving our image is actually thanks to the monitors that we use. But there's also a way to do this artificially for free if you have an NVIDIA graphics card in your PC. You see, the monitors that we use have a built to do this immersive experience, giving us they're real simulators, and if you Now the final step to achieving our image is actually thanks to the monitors that we use. But there's also a way to do this artificially for free if you have an NVIDIA graphics card in your PC. You see, the monitors that we use have a built-in HDR feature. Now it's not amazing or anything, but it's good enough that it makes our image pop just that little bit extra so that everything appears a little more vibrant. Now, if you don't own a monitor that features built-in HDR, you're obviously not going to go out and buy new monitors just to get a slightly better image in AMS2. But there is a way that you can try and copy this effect if you have an Nvidia graphics card. First, head into AMS2 and open up a replay. Now pause the replay in a scene where you've got the sun shining at you and maybe even a car in front of you. Now press Alt-Z to open up the Nvidia overlay and then select Game Filter. You'll have this menu with a bunch of sliders pop up. Now with this process, please understand that your settings are probably going to be different from everyone else's because the color representation in your monitors won't be the same as another person. Not to mention that this comes down to personal preference as well. It's really easy to get sucked into these filter menus and spend hours and hours trying to make changes. But honestly, you shouldn't make it too complicated. Just think for a second, what does HDR do? Basically, it increases the range of color in an image so that your colors are more vibrant and highlights and shadows are more crisp. So I would just keep it simple and play with these three sliders: vibrance, highlights, and shadows. And just remember to make really small changes at a time. Make a change, take a look at the image, and then repeat until you feel happy with the image in front of you. And don't get carried away with this, because when it comes to color composition, one thing that I've learned is that most of the time, less is more. So keep your changes minimal. Well, that covers everything, and hopefully this video helped you out today. If you have any further questions about my force feedback and graphic settings, just leave a comment below. If you're on the fence about AMS2, I really encourage you to give it a go because in my opinion, the game's currently in a really good state. When it comes to a single player sim racing experience with great visuals, this is definitely my favourite. The AI gives really good close racing, and the huge amount of cars included in the base game make this a really good value for money simulator. But that's all we have time for today, so as always guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Welcome to the 27. This is part one of a three-part series designed to be an introduction to the setup tabs for AMS2. We're going to be focusing on each of the tabs specifically and talking a little bit about what you as a driver might be trying to accomplish with your setup and the adjustments you can make just to do that. Now this can be a very deep subject, so my goal here is to make it as palatable as possible, but we do occasionally need to discuss what this stuff is actually doing and why, and that gets a little bit thick. I think with just this series you can probably
Hey guys, Will from Boosted Media here. Today I'm going to
wrap up the game. Hey, I'm a bot. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, I'm gonna break. Ah, I even got to this one.
Why'd I go so far out? Fuck! Damn. Why? Ah! Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. By the way, bitch, drive me. Oh, me.